We have more clues about the next Asgardians coming to Marvel Strike Force. Plus, we have confirmation that the current Asgardians, they are getting reworked in the next update. Yes, exciting stuff, guys. If you are ready for that and all of the rest of the news, you know what to do. Let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
What is up, Valley Maniacs? ValleyFlyin here. I am back. Welcome to the channel. This is an exciting news report. Yes, I am joined once again by my news partner in crime, brother Khasino. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing good. What's going on?
Ooh, we got a lot of stuff going on. We got a picture with some clues for the next Asgardians coming to Marvel Strike Force. We got confirmation of some exciting stuff coming up and recap of all of the news that happened this past week in Marvel Strike Force. Before we get into all that, BlueStacks link is down below. Patreon link is down below. Check out my other channel. That link is down below as well. And we have a sale coming up at TeePublic for some Valley merch very soon. But first thing that really majorly happened this week, at least in my eyes, was the Celebrated Spirits event. And with that, you hit milestones with the orb by using certain characters in the raids. And we got these things right here. We got some Sugar Skull orb fragments. We got some purple gear orb fragments. And we got some orange gear orb fragments as well. What did you think of this event, my friend?
Mixed feelings on it. On the one hand, I'm all for free stuff. And that's exactly what it was. It was just free extra stuff. So, you know, I'm not mad about more purple gear and orange gear. But... And I appreciated the aspect of making people use unconventional raid characters for extra points. So it might have made people try some new comps that worked better than they expected. Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, a good amount of the characters that they chose for that event were not ideal characters for raid. Some of them were, like Doctor Strange is not bad in raid, but like one of them was Nebula. And, you know, just not a particularly strong raid character.
But they did pick Nobu. So that's always a good thing for raids, right?
They did have Nobu.
He's got that resurrection and a cool beard.
So what most of my alliance ended up doing was just kind of ignoring it. If it was like a small transitional effort to just pop one new person in and it didn't jeopardize much, if it was for an easy early node of a Greek raid or something, or like on the final day of beta, I think we did a beta 3, could use some of the characters for that, but for the most part we just kind of ignored it and collected some of the extra stuff. So not the biggest success, but again, you know, I hope they run it again because I like free stuff. So
I do as well. I got 2 thoughts on this. So one, our alliance did it a little differently. We dropped down to Ultimus 6, used these characters, and we got the milestones. I think we thought they were more valuable than they were, but I always like these orbs that they're giving out, and it reminded me of a conversation that we had at the dev's office. Jason Bender was talking about how he wanted to introduce more purple gear and blue gear and other things into the economy of the game to try to get people to catch up, because right now it's not possible to play with one of your friends. So if you have one of your friends, they're like, hey, Khasino, I hear you play this awesome game, let's play it. You're like, I can't really play it with you right now. And he did not want that. So this reminded me of that, of them trying to introduce more resources into the economy.
Yeah, I don't think that's what this was. And I only say that because the point of the catch-up mechanic that he was talking about was mainly like giving new and mid-game players a bunch of blue and purple gear to get them closer to where we are. Yeah. So
it's missing the blue gear, it's missing the gold, it's missing a lot of things. But first glance, that is what I thought of this.
No, I don't really see this as a catch-up mechanic personally. No, I mean, you know, people are going to appreciate the purple gear, but for me, I thought that this was just a nice way to give some people some more chances at Minerva, honestly, because she's pretty rare. She's premium orb exclusive these days. So these Sugar Skull orbs having all characters that revive other people, Minerva was in there. So I'm sure at least a few people unlocked Minerva who had been close. So
I didn't unlock her, but I got her from 4 stars to 5 stars because of these Sugar Skull orbs. So I'm a big fan of this event just for that.
So you got a sweet treat this Halloween.
I did. I got a very sweet treat. Oh, we had a blog post, and it mentioned a few things. It mentioned the kit for Hela, which we had, and we're definitely going to talk about Hela and Greg. It talked about some blitz changes, and we talked about this last week. Some of these blitz changes. We got word of some new blitz characters. Miss Marvel is happening right now, I think, and some more this Celebrated Spirits event. Not too much new in this blog post. Anything stand out in this, in all these different topics in this blog post? Anything stand out for you?
No, nothing in particular. I don't remember the blog post offhand, but I do remember reading through it. And typically the main piece of info that we get from it is like who the blitzes are and maybe like what Flash event is that week. So
yeah, I think they've been doing a really good job of including the blitz characters in these blog posts. I like knowing in advance, and we know that Hela is coming up in a couple days. So we're definitely going to talk a little bit more about her. But as far as the blitz, the current blitz going on right now, Miss Marvel, what are your thoughts on Miss Marvel? Should new players really try to hard farm her, or is that more of something that should push on till the later game?
I think absolutely people should farm Miss Marvel. Now, it's tricky because it's right before Hela, and Hela is undoubtedly an absolutely awesome character. Like, Hela is one of the top characters in the game for good reason, which we'll get into when we talk about her. But Miss Marvel is also a very valuable character. So I do a lot of roster reviews, and one of the main characters that I see neglected that I don't think should be is Miss Marvel, and it's because a lot of times just powering up Miss Marvel makes an entirely new team for someone. And I say that because most people have, for one reason or another, some strong hero brawlers already, whether they had Gamora strong back when they had her on their Guardians, or they've got Spider-Man and Miles, but they don't really have a Spider-Verse team. Maybe they just like Deadpool. They powered up Deadpool, maybe Deadpool Cable, but they don't really have a team for him anymore. It was just good when they were a new player. But a lot of people have all these brawlers, and a bunch of isolated brawlers without Miss Marvel are nothing, but one strong Miss Marvel unifies them, and suddenly you have a strong team for Blitz, a strong team for War, a strong team for whatever you want. So I do think that Miss Marvel is an overlooked character in that regard. But obviously I would caution going all out on this Blitz just before Hela. But if you're one of those players who's like, kind of newer to mid-game, and so you're not going to rank really high for Hela, I think it's okay to go all out for Miss Marvel, since I'm sure some people are saving resources for the Hela Blitz. So.
Yeah, I think she's a great character, and I would say about mid-game is when she comes a little bit more important for those newer players that don't have her unlocked yet. I think she's a great character, and exactly what you said, ties that hero brawler team together, because without her, they're just a bunch of characters that are good to better than good, and she brings them all together. So another interesting thing happened this week, not just Halloween and all the crazy costumes, but we had a time changeover. How has this affected you in the game? So this is for US residents, daylight savings time. We, for some reason or the other, we switch over our clocks 2 times a year, make it 1 time forward, 1 time back. And it is a very weird thing. I grew up in Hawaii. We don't do that. So this daylight savings time is very weird for me. How has this affected you in game? Has this affected you at all, or your alliance, or anybody?
It has, but mostly for the better. So it's made a few things better. So I normally stream from 1 to 3. Sometimes it goes late, like 3:30, 4. And now my daily reset is at 4 p.m. instead of 5 p.m. So like for Hela, it was a lot easier to just keep streaming for when Hela released. Like nice. I didn't have like an hour or 2 of downtime that I might normally. So that's better. But the other thing is my shop refresh prior to this had been at 1 in the morning. So a lot of times I was staying up until 1 in the morning to check my freaking shops. Now it happens at midnight, which is still kind of late to be up, but I get more sleep. It's kind of nice. So
sleep is a good thing.
I enjoy this. And so what's funny is I pre-registered for this game, which is how I was in the soft launch. I had to say I was in Canada. So even when I was back in Florida when I started this game, I was on this same time schedule with my reset being at midnight. But for most of the first like 6 months or whatever that I played this game, however long it was, my reset was at midnight. And then the very first time there was a daylight savings anything in the game, it shifted me to 1 a.m. And I had hated it. Ever like from that moment on, I was like, oh, this is so much worse. God damn it. This sucks. So now when the daylight saving happens and it shifts me back, I'm like, all is right with my time synchronizing again. So
I enjoyed the time
possibly
change.
screwed some people who were in a war when it shifted. I don't know how it affected people who were in a war. I don't know if it cost them an hour.
It
or
happens. Yeah, you know what? There is a war going on at the exact same time, so I don't know what happened with that. I assume the war went on for that same 24 hours, but
that would be my guess.
The clock just shifted a little. I missed a couple arena payouts. I missed a few different things that had happening, but I'm used to it now, and I do like this time shift better. So hopefully one day we'll stop doing this daylight savings time. I think it's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of silly, and a lot of people in a lot of other countries don't deal with it at all. I'm interested to see in the comments, how has daylight savings affected you guys? Better, worse?
Yes. How has it affected you guys? Let me know. I mean, I am curious. Other thing we got this week was a new raid. Beta is over. Gamma is back. Any thoughts on this? I don't see many changes, if any at all. Any thoughts on these new Gamma raid that just popped up a couple days ago?
I've only, I think, played through it once, and I don't notice any changes. In fact, they mistakenly had still called the orbs, I think, the champion raid orbs from last time. So yeah, I don't think they.
I didn't notice that. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I don't think they changed it. It's corrected now to be Gamma again, but yeah, I'm not seeing any change. That's not to say that for sure they definitely haven't changed anything, but I haven't run into any changes, so it's mostly similar. So
you guys are 100%ing this, no problem.
Yep, business as usual.
Nice. All right, well, it looks like we are getting some changes to Ultimus 7 according to the in-game mail that we just got. So let me go there, and I will read it to you. So the in-game mail that we got is... Where is it? Ultimus 7 update. We have updated raid season points for Ultimus 7 based on the initial community feedback. So standard nodes reward more raid season points, mini boss nodes reward more season points, and the final boss rewards more season points. And they're upping the clearing points for the 30% of Ultimus 7 as well to make it more than Ultimus 6. Now we talked about, I think it was, I'm not sure if this was just a community post that Cerebral posted last week, but now it is in game. It is official with some exact numbers, and it looks like more changes are coming soon. What are your thoughts on the first round of changes that we are seeing to Ultimus 7 with potentially more on the way?
I mean, these were some of the very first things that we pointed out as soon as we first talked about Ultimus 7 on the news video.
Yeah.
We mentioned a few things, including the raid completion rewards being a little bit lackluster for the effort, and the fact that it didn't make sense that doing 30% in Ultimus 7 was less rewarding than doing 100% in Ultimus 6, and that alliances were dropping down to the easier raid for season points. So we pointed out that this was kind of ass backwards, and I'm glad that and it wasn't like we were the only ones. Obviously Reddit had pointed it out too, but
no, I think anybody that first saw this were like, whoa, this is not good. So yeah, it wasn't only us, but rewards. That was one of the big complaints from a lot of the community. The rewards just aren't matching the effort. So
says we're still looking to address the remaining feedback around raid completion rewards.
Yeah, so what do you think is going to happen with it? What do you think they're going to do with the rewards? Do you think they're giving more oranges, more purples, more raid currency for the store? What do you think they're going to do?
I have no idea what direction they're going to go. And my guess is that they're just going to build everything up across the board. So I would guess slightly more of everything. If not a moderate amount more of everything. However, one of the bigger complaints that I heard that I hope they address, and I don't know if they will, was a lot of people saying basically their main source of blue gear
that was my
as
next
a late
question.
game player was Ultimus 6. So I hope they put blue gear orbs in that. And in Cerebro's post, they'd mentioned adding blue ability materials, which I guess is good, but that's not blue gear.
Yeah,
so
Cerebro, we don't need more ability materials. We need more gear to rank up our new characters, not the ability materials.
Yeah, so hopefully they add lots of blue gear from these, but Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they do, but either way, the fact that they're gonna improve it is definitely good news. So
I think it's great as well, and I look forward to seeing what future changes will be brought out from Ultimus 7 Raid. Another new thing that happened, we got a new character in the game, and she is unlocked. Let me get your thoughts on her. We knew her kit for a while, so we knew how she would perform on paper, but now you got to use Hela firsthand. I know you are hella excited for this. What are your thoughts on Hela now that you are trying her out firsthand? And let's not forget Greg either. What are your thoughts on Greg as well?
So the character is awesome. Hela and Greg are a power couple, and yeah, she's a fantastic character. My personal experiences have been not the best, and it's just because I was horrendously unlucky with Hela. I think I've already spent $250 on Hela, which is, yeah, right. That's a good amount of money.
So it's spending that much money, you must have like a 7-star Hela, right?
Oh, Valley, so funny. No.
What stars is your Hela?
Prior to the Whale Wars that we just did, which I guess you could count as more money spent on Hela, I had a 4-star Hela with 2 red stars, and I was short on gold and I was short on Mystic Gear because I'd been working on my Supernatural team. So I had to buy some gold offers, I had to buy some Mystic Gear, and yeah, I mean my Hela's like barely gear tier 10 right now.
I think that's not bad.
And from the 2 offers, which totaled out to $50, I only got a 3-star Hela. I had to buy more of her orbs to get to 4-star, but I got unlucky with the gold orbs I was opening for her. I got unlucky opening her orbs that I only had her at 3-star. I got unlucky with the red star orbs I was opening for her and only had her at 2 red star. So yeah, just everything went poorly, which is unfortunate because Hela is one of the best beneficiaries of red stars in the game because damage obviously helps her a ton, and then her passive heals her every turn, and she's healing whenever Greg dies. And so the more health that she has, the more room to fill that health bar she has when she keeps getting healed. And she heals for a percentage of her health, so she's also getting a bigger heal. So getting bigger heals, dealing more damage, having more health to keep topped off with those heals, it's just the perfect situation. So she is easily one of the best recipients for high red stars. And
well, let's not forget that is a 2-for-1 bonus when you get red stars on Hela, because she is getting bonus stats, but Greg, he is also getting bonus stats as well from extra red stars. So it's like a 2-for-1, baby.
Yes, it is. Greg definitely appreciates some red stars as well. But yeah, I mean, Hela is one of the top characters, no question. She has the 3rd highest damage in the game, I think, base value. So her ultimate is basically like a Rocket ultimate, but like Rocket with Groot, except Hela just does it by herself.
And she spreads.
Yeah, and she spreads negative
effects.
Love
that move, baby.
She's not as squishy as Rocket. She's self-healing. She's just a really, really, really strong character. Definitely one of the stronger new characters. I mean, she's the goddess of death, and for good reason. She does have a really sweet kill animation on her ultimate. Have you seen it yet?
Not yet. My Hela's not that strong to actually kill anybody with her ultimate. She just spreads.
Oh, you could take her in a Nexus Chapter 1.
I haven't used her in that mode. What? Speaking of different modes, where have you used her, and what teams have you used her with? What game modes have you used her in, and what teams have you
I used her in Nexus to mess around in the first chapter and to see some finisher animations.
All right.
And I used her in Blitz, but I didn't use her on any fun creative team combos because, again, my Hela is under-leveled compared to all the people I'd use her with. Under-starred, under-red starred, under-geared. She's just too weak. If I used her on any of the teams that I want to eventually put her on, she would just look really underwhelming and then like die in 2 shots, which is not what'll actually happen to a properly powered Hela. It's just I've been hamstrung a little bit with a weak one for the time being.
I feel you. I've tried her in a few blitz teams, and I've liked the teams, but she just doesn't add a lot of value because mine's is even worse than yours. Mine's is at 2 gold stars, so very, very low power. But I can see kind of the formation of what she will do when she is fully powered up. So, and I've tried her with a supernatural team replacing Elsa. She does really well in there, although in that match it was supernatural pretty much carrying the whole match. And I tried her in a team with Hela, Loki, Scarlet Witch, Carnage, and Venom. And that team worked pretty well. I think that's going to be a fun team before this Asgardian rework that we're going to talk about in just a little bit.
Yeah, we will talk about that. But so yeah, ultimately, I really like Hela. So Hela's a really good plug and play character. Mm-hmm. She's actually amazing on Supernatural because Greg is Mystic. Yes. So whenever Greg dies, Mordo is giving out healing and ability energy. And then Hela's already healing herself whenever Greg dies. So it's a lot of healing, and that extra health is great for the Scarlet Witch rebalance. Like, Hela is just amazing on Supernatural.
I really like that team. The Hela
that's one of my favorite combos, but she's great with any team that has heavy debuffs as well, especially teams that'll benefit from her AoE. So she's great acting as AoE for the AIM team. She's great on the Brotherhood.
I like that.
Yep, great on the Brotherhood. Incredible on Spider-Verse, because Spider-Verse, between Carnage and Venom, they can just completely curse one character and then she can spread it to everybody. So yeah, any teams that do lots of debuffs, she's great with. But again, she's just a solid character. I would compare her. I think most interestingly, I think she's a lot like Captain Marvel. Actually, now Captain Marvel specifically being insanely fast and having like a turn one, basically a deletion of a squishy character is a little bit different than Hela, of course. But ultimately, in terms of like lots of self-healing, excellent damage output, can kind of go anywhere and do a good amount of solo work on any team. I think Hela's pretty similar to Captain Marvel. So the same experience that you're having with Captain Marvel, like, a 4 gold star Captain Marvel's like, all right, not incredible, but definitely usable. 5 gold star Captain Marvel, pretty good. And then once you start getting maxed out, it's like, oh, this character's insane. I think Hela's going to be very much the same.
I am having that feeling as well, and I hope they do extend some of these tags like we talked about a long time ago in this news report, to extending all these war and raid specific tags into Blitz. I think that would be amazing. So Fox next, you get my thumbs up for that. All right, but the next topic I wanted to talk about,
here we go.
Yeah, I know. We've been playing this game for a long time. War has been around for a while. A couple days ago, actually, and it ended today, so it started yesterday as of us recording it, but we fought each other in war for the first time, and it was a pretty close war for a while. What are your thoughts on this war? I'm happy, and the good thing is we got promoted, we got up to gold 2, and you guys are still in gold 2, so I think it's a win for everybody. What are your thoughts on this war?
I
know you're very opinionated on it. We were talking about it a little earlier.
I think it's a win just for you. I think my screen said defeat, if I remember correctly.
Well, you didn't get bumped out of gold 2, so that's...
No, we can lose another one and not get bumped out of gold 2, but that was not really my concern.
All right.
But yeah, I'm very, very salty about the whole thing, actually.
All right, how salty do you want to be on this video, or...
I just am salty. I'm authentic in the video, but no, I'm very upset. My team failed so many idiotic attacks that they didn't have any hope of pulling off. I mean, you guys had plenty of terribly failed attacks as well. I actually think both alliances played like crap, actually, but mine played like even more crap, which of course has me even more upset. I had to privately message at least 3 people and show them one of their own attacks and be like, what did you think was going to happen here? Man. And one here are my top 3 favorite ones here. One person, I went, what did you do? And they went, oh, I used the team to clear all the boosts from the Brotherhood team.
What team was it?
That was it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They wasted
X-Men team to clear all the boosters.
No. They use a whole team to clear boosts from a Brotherhood. And
Interesting.
Yeah, pretty upset about that one. One person tried to face a mirror matchup, Brawlers versus Brawlers, except they tried to punch up 50k, and they were facing your guys' team buffed by engineering with their own team debuffed by security. So they tried to punch up 50k with identical characters into defense up, spawning with defense down, which is going to literally always fail.
I don't mind that. I don't mind your lines doing that like 100% of their wars.
Yeah, I do very much. That's how you get kicked.
No, that's
that
not
one
a good
had me
attack.
upset.
What else happened?
That one had me upset. Oh my god! Like 5 different people tried, and not only am I mad that they tried it once, but 2 different people, when it failed, thought they got unlucky and tried the exact same thing again.
Oh.
They tried 140k or bigger punch ups with power armor into Guardian Nerva, which in and of itself is risky but can be done. But they did it either in security or in a room buffed adjacent by security, which meant that they were spawning with defense down, which when you apply defense down to defense up, it's like there's no defense buffs in play, and then they're just trying to punch up 140k, and no one's taunting, and no one has defense up, because everyone also has defense down. And shocker, they lost. So just so many attacks that I was actually confounded. I think I kept a tally actually on my phone, and I think I'm not gonna shame the person by name.
Please don't.
but here's the actual worst performance. The person who was in the bottom 3 for total damage contributed. Let me do the quick math here on number of attacks. I basically counted like of all the attacks, let's say that you did 5 attacks and you could have killed 25 people. In total attacks, this person was negative 38. 38 units they could have killed, but didn't. And I'm not expecting like perfect performance, but like average was like minus 10, minus 12, over 12 attacks. If you have to combat cancel 1 or 2, you fail 1 or 2, partial, fine. But do you know how many attacks you have to fail to miss out on 38 kills? And that person is
over 7 attacks.
Over 7 full attacks worth of 0. And that person is one of the highest collection powers in the Alliance.
All right, so with that person, I think you need to keep him on just in case we play each other again. I think you definitely do not kick that person ever. Not
to mention, I'm sure you guys saw, one of the new people didn't even have an opportunity to set defense.
Oh,
so we just had to
I saw that room.
So we also
I thought you were man down when I saw that room.
Well, we were on defense.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had 74 failed attacks, which is just absolutely terrible. I'm very upset with my Alliance, and
let me ask you with that, how much do you think is attributed to Coulson now a part of this game and war defense?
It certainly doesn't help, but there weren't too many failed attacks against Coulson. Part of it, I think it was less people failing against Coulson. I think it was people using what they would normally rely on to beat like Guardian Nerva or Ultron teams. They used against Coulson instead, and then had to fight those other teams with a second best or third best option. And that could have been what threw them off. But I mean, mainly it was just poor decision making. It was just a lot of combat canceling and a lot of, just throwing teams. And like, I also just saw a bunch of X-Men teams wasted. Like some people were using X-Men teams on your Coulson defenses, which is fine if their Brotherhood isn't strong enough or whatever. But they were going even power, not like, 50k punch-ups. Like they were just punching across. So again, that's pretty wasteful.
I don't mind that when you guys are facing us in war, but
I bet you don't.
Honestly, I think both the alliances were a little pressured because I think both knew that we were talking about it on this news show tonight, just because it's the first time we've competed against each other in war. So
yep, and the what upsets me is I consider my alliance like a war above all focused alliance, and so to see such a poor performance in war, arguably the war I wanted to win the most so far in all of Alliance. This
was the war that I wanted to win the most as well. So I think we both.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw this, I'm like, oh, I don't care who wins. We're definitely talking about this at the news report tomorrow.
Look, I got MVP, so they can't say shit to me.
That's something, man. I didn't get MVP, so congratulations on that. Next big thing that is happening, it's actually happening right now as we're recording this, Shuri event returning. Now, I think she's gotten a little bit of a bad rap because of this Wakanda thing, saying that they're the best blitz team. So all of Wakanda's got a little bad rap. But Shuri, she is finding a lot more value nowadays in Ultimus 7. What are your thoughts on Shuri now that you see her performance in Ultimus 7, and what if people don't have her yet? How excited should they be if they are unlocking Shuri right now?
Oh, my thoughts haven't changed, but it's I love when I've been saying something and then many months later people are finally realizing like, oh, Khasino knew what he was talking about. Like, yeah, I would think I have enough of a track record at this point. Come on. But yeah, I've been saying Shuri is, regardless of how good the Wakandans are in Raid, because with the new Ultimus 7, I've completely hopped off the Wakanda hype train. They have zero hope in the new Ultimus 7. But Shuri was always like half of that team in a single character. She was all of the cleansing. She was all of the defense upping. All of the healing, except for, I guess, Killmonger self-healing and M'Baku a little bit of self-healing. But Shuri was doing most of the heavy lifting. She was giving out ability energy, the heal block. She's a big part of it. And so, yeah, Shuri is an incredible solo raid character. And she benefits from being tech as well, which there's a lot of good synergies for that right now. Definitely. But yeah, at the end of the day, she has a very low cooldown 2-turn defense up, and she spawns with speed up on spawn from her own passive. So she gets 2 turns of defense up for your entire team really early on in the match. And then she has a really good adaptive heal where it'll either give everyone a little bit, or if 1 or 2 people are particularly crippled, she'll really focus heal those 2 really injured targets. So it's a really good adaptable heal. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Shuri is one of the best raid characters. She gets an extra 40% health in raid. Anytime anyone falls below 50% health, she gives them a bunch of deflects, which is really good. She's just so much value for a single character in raid. So I'm in the process of working on the new top 5 teams tier list, and I promise you, in the top couple of raid teams in the game right now, you will see Shuri either as a primary or as one of the first possible alternates to consider.
Nice. Well, it sounds like she's finally getting the respect that she deserves for being the legendary Shuri. T4 thoughts on her real quick for people that are just unlocking her. I'm thinking ultimate and passive. Any difference of opinion with that?
No, those 2 are very critical. I would have to take a quick look. I mean, I made an Orange Essentials video for the Wakandans, but it was kind of built around if you're using the Wakandans. I think, if I remember correctly, her special, the benefit to it is it gives out ability energy to Wakandans.
Yeah. So for a non-Wakandan team, I don't think that's
right. Then I'm thinking just passive and ultimate, and definitely not the basic.
Yeah, not the basic. Cool. Well, that is going on right now, but it looks like we have a huge blitz, probably the biggest blitz we've had in maybe 2 months, coming up in just a couple days for our girl that we just finished talking about, Hela. Man, I think these scores are going to go through the roof. Are you just going to buy more packs, or are you actually going to get a blitz on this one? And what do you think the scores are going to be for this crazy blitz coming up?
So I haven't flexed my blitz muscles in a while here. So
I don't think a lot of people have. I don't think a lot of people have. They've been taking it easy.
Well, you're thinking really high end. Most players don't have everyone at 7-star, but some of the people way up by where we are at this point have a lot of characters at 7-star. But that's not the norm.
Fair enough.
But it's a lot of the people that can put up some big numbers also. So we'll see. But pretty much with very few exceptions, anytime a new character comes to blitz, they pretty much always break records. I can only think of a handful offhand that didn't. Like America Chavez didn't break records despite being a new character Blitz release, and I think that was mainly because no one really knew who she was. But Hela is part of the Asgardians, and the Asgardians are easily one of the most popular teams, brands, so to speak, in Marvel Strike Force. So even people who don't love Hela as a character, there's a good chance they love Thor, they love Loki, and so they're going to want a really powered up Hela to go with them. So yeah, I'm very sure that we will see some of the highest Blitz scores we've ever seen.
You care to give any predictions off the top of your head, or you want to wait till the official post?
I mean, I would say definitely check in and see what Blitz predictions get posted. I haven't checked. It's been a while since we last saw a new character, and I got to do a little bit of math to figure out how much the potential to earn has grown since then. But I'm going to say off the top of my head, like 11 mil for top 1500 for her.
That's around where I was thinking as well. 11, 12
could be higher.
So. You know what? I think it might be. We've had some level cap increases. We have had a bunch of Stark Tech increases. I hate to say it, but I think it might be higher, unfortunately. Yeah, we will have to see. Now you mentioned the popularity of Asgardians. I think the other thing why people are going to go hard, and I don't think it's a good thing that people are going to go hard, because it's going to be some crazy scores, but we have seen the power of her kit for at least a few weeks now, and people that are using her, they can confirm that she is a good character. She just needs a lot of those stars. So yeah, even more reason that these scores, I think, are going to be pretty high for this Blitz. All right, and yeah, so Hela looks to be very, very fun. And speaking of Hela and the rest of the Asgardians, I know you got some news on some Asgardians coming up to the game. We got some reworks coming. Tell me what you know about all these Asgardians. I know you got a lot of news on these guys.
I did. So, I mean, even in saying we got some reworks coming up, that is the gist of it. So you and I have theorized for a while that Asgardians were going to get reworked. And the reason I say that we've theorized is because, well, you and I have known that there were some Asgardian reworks coming, and we've known that we have not been able to say anything.
I don't think it's just us. I think it's the whole community that has heard your interview with Cerebro, because it was hinted there and it was like, oh, yeah, AIM happened. Asgardians have to happen. So it's not just us, I think.
No. It's been a commonly expected thing, but like I said, me and you have known for at least a little while now. We've seen, if not the full extent of the rework, we've at least seen portions of the rework. So we've been just kind of waiting. But I'd asked several times prior to this, like, can I tell people that an Asgardian rework is coming, even if we don't say when? Can we just confirm that it's happening? And we were not given the green light until now. I had asked a question about whether undead Asgardians count toward Thor's passive, and I got a pretty in-depth, pretty interesting answer that confirms a couple things.
Can you read it verbatim?
Yeah, I will.
Nice.
So what it said was, when Hela releases, Thor will get extra damage from the undead Asgardian. His passive currently calculates at runtime, meaning his damage will fluctuate up and down based on his Asgardian allies dying. In patch 3.7, which is the next one, we wanted to make his passive more consistent, such that if you go into a fight with 5 Asgardians, you know Thor's damage will stay consistent regardless of his allies dying. As such, we changed his passive to calculate once at the start of a match. This, however, comes with the downside of not counting the undead Asgardian because he spawns after this is calculated. Thor himself is getting large updates in 3.7 to make him vastly stronger. Yes. So the loss of 10% from the undead Asgardian should be a drop in the bucket.
I love it. Finally. I've been waiting for this character to be good. I got to tell you about Thor. Let me tell you about Thor. I farmed this character to 7 stars way back in the day. Even though I knew he was not that good of a character, I just like Thor. I wanted to get him to 7 stars in hoping for this patch coming up. So I am excited. I'm very excited for this.
Same. I've actually had 5 red stars on my Thor for a while. Ooh, so yeah, it's nice. Just I've been waiting for that to count for something. And yeah, so I like that they specify that he will be vastly stronger. And I'll be honest, when I saw his rework, which again, I have no idea if the rework that you and I saw will be exactly the
Yeah,
rework
I mean,
we're
that was
expecting or
a
anything like that.
long time ago. They may have come up with several different iterations since then. So I don't even know if what we
Correct.
saw is still going to be in the game or not.
Correct. But what I can say is he definitely got quite a bit stronger than he was. He did not get to a level where I was like, wow, Thor now one of the best characters in the game. But he definitely got pretty strong. I think I would say it's pretty similar in scope to the Hulk rework, possibly more so in that Hulk definitely got a lot better and has moments where he shines. But as a solo character, if it's what we saw, and maybe it'll be totally different, but from what we saw, I'm not expecting Thor to be like the new one of the most incredible characters in the game. But he certainly looked a lot better, which is good. And I'm also looking forward to how his synergies will interact with the rest of the Asgardians. And that's the other part of this I wanted to mention when we say the rest of the Asgardians.
Yeah.
In that message, they said, and I quote, such that if you go into a fight with 5 Asgardians, the only way for you to go into a fight with 5 Asgardians, not including Greg, is for there to be at least 2 more Asgardian characters for you to bring into that fight.
Yes. And we have thrown out some rumored names on a previous news show many weeks back. And I guess we will find out in just a few short weeks if those rumors are true or not.
Yes, but you actually surprised me with something that I would have noticed in a day or two, but I didn't even realize the email came in and you caught it. So,
all right, so we actually got an email with some of these character previews, previewing Hela and some of the synergy that she has with characters. And we got this email with some silhouettes here. And we did this whole segment about speculating which characters these could be. Maybe it's some of the rumored characters, maybe it's some other Asgardians, but after we recorded this, you noticed a slight similarity to some in-game silhouettes or models that we have in the game right now for their avatars. So do you want to discuss what you just found out about this preview message that they just sent to us?
Yeah, so I know for a fact that for one of the previous character releases, I was trying to convince Cerebro to give me, I think it was for Invisible Woman, and I was like, please give me Invisible Woman's portrait. I need it for a video I'm making. And he's like, who's to say that she has a portrait? And I was like, you sent one of these promotional emails. It shows the silhouette of the portrait. We know it exists. Please can I have the portrait?
Maybe he was saying that she doesn't have a portrait because she's invisible.
No. He wasn't making a bad joke.
All right.
He was just like,
sorry, my bad. Keep going.
No, it's fine. Bad jokes aside. But no, he was just like, I don't know if I can give you that, so I'm just going to avoid the topic, whatever. And then I showed him, I was like, it obviously already exists. They used it here as the little marketing teaser. And they've done this for a few things. Like, we've referenced this a few times. It's gotten posted on Reddit where people are like, oh, you can kind of figure out who the new characters are based on their silhouettes. Some of them are kind of obvious, like Rescue. They were trying to keep Rescue under wraps. And then we were, speculating about that one. And so one of the more recent ones I'd showed Cerebro. And he was like, where'd you get this? And I was like, what do you mean where'd I get it? From you guys. This is your promotional email.
Hold on. You want to get the background of this promotional email? Because I don't know how to even get on this email list. You got it way back in the day.
Yeah, I've been on this forever. I think this is from like pre-registering, but it's literally like I agree to receive promotional emails about this. Just whenever a new character comes out, I get a pointless email.
I would like to receive that email
for like 5 days.
Foxnex, if you're listening, I want to get on that email list.
I can probably get you on that promotional email list.
Awesome, man. Thanks for the hookups.
It never contains any new information. Every once in a while, I'll have a little silhouette teaser down at the bottom, which has been fun. I always immediately share that with everyone if someone hasn't already posted on Reddit first, whatever. And then a lot of times we can guess based on the silhouettes who the new characters are. And
you guys, wait for it. You guys are going to love this. You guys are going to love this. See what happens here.
For this one, we were racking our brains because I'd heard Heimdall, I'd heard Sif, someone was throwing around Odin, and we got the silhouettes and we were looking and we're like, this does not look like any of them. All 3 of those characters have like horns on their helmet or like wings on part of their headpiece or whatever it is. And so we were trying to figure out from these portraits, like, oh, that's a kind of round head. Maybe it's a ugly hairstyle for Lady Sif. That one's kind of a round head. Maybe it's Scourge. Like, we're all over the place. And then it occurred to me, like, wait a second. That looks a lot like Shield Assault. Anyway, Fox Next has gotten tricksy.
Oh yeah, baby.
They think they're tricksy. So to Fox Next, I say, clever girl.
Hey,
But
you
so
guys had us
unfortunately-
for at least an hour. You guys had us for a little bit.
for
You
an
did.
hour, I was
You did
racking
have
my
us.
brain, questioning everything I thought I knew about upcoming Asgardians.
Looking on
but
Google
no,
Images, where can Heimdall look like this? Where can Sif? Where can Odin look like this? They don't look like this in any of their pictures.
yeah, not only that, but I call bullshit. I don't think that Hela, Loki, and Thor will have exceptional team synergy with shield assault and shield security. Fox Next.
What do you think of this, guys? Did we just all get Fox Next in, or are they going to have a lot of synergy with shield assault and shield security? Let me know in the comments, guys. But on a serious note, all right, so they're using some real weird silhouettes here. Who do you think the characters are? I mean, we've had some rumored characters. We've had some characters that a lot of people think are going to be the characters. Who do you think the characters are going to be?
I'm going Lady Sif and Heimdall just because those are the rumors I've heard. That's my final answer. I don't know how true it is, but that's what I've heard. That's what I'm going with.
I'm going to stick with that for the very same reason. The rumors have been more accurate than not accurate, so I'm gonna stick with that as well. And that is it, guys. Let us know in the comments who you think is coming to the game, who these Asgardians could be. Let everybody know where they could find you, and if you have any big events coming up.
Big events, I don't think so. I stream Marvel Strike Force every single day on Twitch, 1 p.m. That's twitch.tv/Khasino. I got some YouTube stuff coming up. I got some infographics coming up. So yeah, all sorts of projects in the works. But right now, the main thing is if you want to see some Hela gameplay, I'm doing my best to whale out and try to get some high-level Hela gameplay for everyone. So
nice.
check that out.
Nice. Maybe their stream could donate another like $300 or $400 and get you an extra star on Hela and get some better gameplay.
Sounds good.
Anyway, guys, Khasino, thank you for joining me. Thank you guys for stopping by. Let me know in the comments what you think of all the things that we talked about in this update. And you guys know where to find me. Subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends, smash on that like button and join the notification squad. Make sure you check out my other channel as well. I'm trying to grow that thing for you guys, especially if you play Dragon Champions. I'm going to be covering everything non-Marvel, including Dragon Champions on that channel, so check that out. And some of the links down below, some of the promotion stuff, Valley merch, BlueStacks, everything else. I will see you guys next time. Make sure you guys check me out on social media. Hulk fist bump. Oh, ValleyFlyin out.